All right, so now on this window, I've navigated back to my Manage Assessments window. I've got all the items in my assessment, and I'm ready to generate forms and administer it to students. So what I want to do is click on Administrate Assessment Forms, rather, in that action bar up top. That'll open this window. Now, I can generate up to 9 different forms for the assessments. I've generated 4 here, and each form and its answer key is listed in this window. The answer key is indicated by the A at the end. If I click any of those links, it'll display in the PDF area, and that PDF preview area is where I go to save or print that PDF file. Now, I'd love to show you exactly how to do that, but that's going to depend on what PDF viewer you have installed on your system. For example, in mine, I just sort of roll over the lower right corner and buttons show up. Some of them have buttons at the top. Without fail, though, if you right-click the document, you should get options in a context-sensitive menu to save and print. So if you can't find your buttons otherwise, that'll work. So when you're all done printing, click the X in the corner to close the window. Now, once you have the forms generated, you're ready to administer the assessment. Go back to the Assessments window, and you'll see in the Options menu, Administer. Go ahead and select that, and this is where you get to add an administration of that assessment. You'll need to fill in the date that you plan to assess, whether it's a pre, a post, or progress monitoring assessment, and which course or class you plan to assess. Now, a couple of things I want to point out. First is that the dates are not like etched in stone. So LeAH uses those dates to keep all the data chronologically sorted in the charts. So if you plan to assess everybody on Tuesday, but you've got an assembly 5th period, and so you wind up having to assess them on Wednesday instead, don't change the date for 5th period because it'll make your graph look weird. 5th period will be sort of its own administration floating off separately on a different day. Another thing I want to point out, I've decided to give this sample assessment to my science classes. By selecting the course, but not selecting the class, I'm telling LeAH that I plan to assess both of my science classes. If I selected one specific class, it would only administer the assessment to that class. Sometimes that's what you want to do. In most cases, you're probably just going to want to select the course, so you'll give it to all the sections of that course that you teach. All right, so now it's time to print answer sheets. In order to print the answer sheets, I need to go into the class detail view for the classes that I'm assessing. The quickest and easiest way to do that is to click on the class name in the dashboard. That'll take me here to the class detail view. Then I'll find the assessment that I'm administering and click View Administrations. And that'll sort of expand right like that. Now, you can see that I've given both a pre and a post of this assessment, and each one actually has their own answer sheet. So let's look at the pre real quick. You can see that each answer sheet is labeled with the assessment name, the administration, and the class assessed. That's important to keep straight because this form code at the bottom is what tells LeAH where to put the data. So this answer sheet is for 3rd period students to fill in their pre-assessment. If a 3rd period student fills in their post-assessment on this answer sheet, or if a 4th period student fills out their pre-assessment on this answer sheet, we'll get an error when we try to scan it. I also want you to notice the different item types that we added to this assessment. Here we've got the multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, short answer. There's an extended response with a single element rubric and an essay with 6 rubric elements. There's also a spot for the student to bubble in their LeAH ID and the version or form number of the assessment that they completed. Okay? So that's the answer sheet. That's what lets us get to the really cool stuff. Okay, so once the bubble sheets are complete, getting the data back into LeAH is really quite quick. You just need to hold the answer sheet in front of your computer's webcam and wait for the ding that says it's been scanned successfully. Now, a cool sort of method to do this quickly, if you hold multiple answer sheets in a stack, and the great thing about the form code at the bottom is that you don't have to have them sorted by class, just answer sheets in a stack. LeAH will know where to put the data. So if you hold them in a stack and hold them up to the camera, as soon as you hear the ding, you can pull the top one off so that LeAH can see what's underneath it and scan the next one. Yeah, you might need a demonstration of that. Okay, so here's a quick 30-second demonstration. As we go through this, I want you to notice the green bar up there where it's giving successful results. Notice the student name and the percentage. This has pre- and post-assessments mixed together. So you'll see some pretty high scores and some pretty low scores too. But let me run this, and you can watch how I'm able to go through a stack of answer sheets pretty quickly. There's one. Now we've got Victoria and Silvio. And I'm getting comfortable with the system, so I'm picking up the pace a little bit at this point. And bam, went through the whole stack. So isn't that just cool? Once you've got the data in LeAH, then you can visit the reports window to explore the results and look for patterns. You can view your data in lots of flexible ways. You can look at it according to any of the student demographic factors that are entered. You can look at it according to the teacher-assigned groups. You can also explore your results by standard or by learning goal to get a sense of the overall pattern in the classes. You can compare classes to one another, and you can also show results individually, either by the student ID or with the LeAH ID, so that if you wanted to show show a student their results, you wouldn't be disclosing other students' results to them at the same time. So I'm sure by now your brain is full, and so don't worry, you'll get a link to this recording by the end of the day tomorrow. But before I open up to questions, let me remind you of the upcoming webinar, Measuring Complexity. And this will more fully explore the use of rubrics and learning goals to measure complex performances of understanding and to promote deeper learning.